This is Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, brought to you by the Iowa Soybean Association, your daily recap of the information that affects Iowa's farmers, producers, and consumers, right here in the heart of the heartland. With reports from our award-winning broadcast team of Dustin Hoffman, Riley Smith, and Mark Magnuson. Now, from the IARN studios in Des Moines, here's Dustin Hoffman.
Well, good day, everybody, and welcome to Ag Matters PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Today is Thursday, September the 8th, 2022. We're so glad you could join us. Coming up in today's show, I'm going to enter the virtual Metaverse. We did that at the Iowa State Fair, and I'll bring you a little bit of what we talked about and what this tool is going to be able to do. I'll also take a look at your ag weather outlook. But first, let's run down those markets. It's time now for the Ag Matters PM Closing Market Summary, your source for market analysis and settlement prices from the day's trade in Chicago, courtesy of the folks at agmarket.net. Well, we're at the end of another trading day here, and we're going to turn our attention to Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. Kaden, what did we see coming out of this trading day?
Yeah, we had a pretty big reversal yesterday on Wednesday, and that kind of continued somewhat to start the morning today. And then I think you saw some profit taking and whatnot going into not only the weekend, but the WASDE report on Monday. So at the lows today, corn was 30 cents off of yesterday's high, being 60 cents, and then kind of turned around, found some short covering there and settled moderately lower. So not too big of a day today, and I kind of think you'll see a similar thing tomorrow going into the WASDE.
So as you look into your crystal ball, what do you think we're going to see coming out of Monday's report?
USDA for corn last month was 175.4, and as I'm sure you remember, Pro Farmer is about 168. Don't think we'll come in quite that low. To be honest, I kind of think we'll stay around 173 on corn. I think you'll see USDA probably cut a little bit, a couple bushels, but I don't think you'll see anything too major yet. As far as beans go, really, USDA and Pro Farmer weren't too far off. They're both above 51 and a half. So I don't think we've seen anything yet to necessitate a big change there yet. So, I think around that 51 and a half range on beans will be close.
All right, but I mean, if we see USDA hold steady, I mean, what kind of a market, what kind of a message would that send to the markets if they don't do much changing at all?
Yeah, I haven't seen report estimates yet out of kind of what the traders are thinking, but in my opinion, the market right now is trading probably more like a 171. I think if you see the USDA trim somewhat, I don't really think anybody's expecting them to get too aggressive yet, and so I think you're going to kind of see the report come. It'll get traded for 30 minutes, and then assuming that the USDA is fairly in line with not cutting too much, but also cutting a little bit, I think you'll kind of see the trade resume like it has been, which has been somewhat grinding lower. I know we had some fireworks earlier in the week out of Russia, but I think you'll see the market kind of look at this report and then go back to trading like it has been.
With the exception of any new news that would come in, obviously it's been kind of a quiet week, except for the Russia stirring. For a 4-day week, kind of into between that 3-day weekend and the WASDE report. I suppose, we could handle a little bit of quiet activity, barring, again, any major things, considering how much volatility we've seen all year long.
Yeah, that's right. I don't think it'd make anybody too upset to see a little bit of a breather here. Typically you kind of see that going into harvest. Again, assuming things stay fairly in line, I don't think that's out of the question. We kind of talked about it before. I think on the corn chart, you got to be in mind of gap open at 630, 631, as well as the 200-day down there. I think all else equal, the market may, kind of try to find its way down to that kind of that 630 area as we get going into harvest.
What should farmers be thinking about to kind of protect themselves, either against it being aggressively lower or, being able to not miss out on some higher prices if that's the way things go here through harvest?
Yeah, for sure. And I think the answer to this is going to come a little bit down to where you're located. I think we're with the short corn crop, especially out west, I think you've got a chance to see basis really get exciting after harvest going into the spring. On the flip side, you don't want to turn your back on what's close to $7 corn. And so I think most people feel that there's still some upside in this market, and most people are going to want to participate in that. So what we've been encouraging producers to do is if you've got a decent basis for your fall bid and you're okay making some more sales, go ahead and do that. But really consider re-owning those with a call option strategy or just a straight call option, because it's pretty well documented. Corn yield may be down this year, and demand, depending on what demand does, we could see some more fireworks going into next spring. So definitely would encourage producers, whatever you're selling across the scale or have sold already, really consider re-owning that with call options on paper.
All right, moving to the other side of the marketplace, what did we see in livestock today with cattle and hogs?
Yeah, cattle kind of had a rough day yesterday, went down and checked some support today, and then closed decent. So I think that's a good sign out of them. Didn't continue to get slaughtered, found that good support. If we continue rallying like we had been the end of last week, I think on feeders, you're getting to where you're starting to look at checking new highs. The August high and then the contract high around that 146 to 147 area off of October. So I think that's what you got to keep your eye on if we see a rally, see continued buying in the cattle market.
What about the hog side of the equation?
Kind of same deal. Had some selling yesterday, found some support today, closed just above the 200-day moving average. I think you're going to see the hog market stay fairly sideways here, at least for a little bit, because we've got that good support around the 90 area on October, but we've got quite a bit of resistance around 94 in the form of the 20, 50, and 100-day moving averages all in that area. So I think you want to get above 94, 95 before you really start to feel good about a hog rally. Not that it can't happen, but I think it'll be kind of tough sledding to get there.
All right. Well, Kaden, a lot of great information as always. If folks want to talk market strategies with agmarket.net, what's the best way for them to get in touch?
Yeah, go to our website, agmarket.net. We touched on the corn reownership strategy just a little bit, but there's a lot of different ways you can go about it there. That depends on the producer. So be sure to get a hold of us at our website, or you can get a hold of me directly, 815-691-2672, and we'll kind of dive into that and see what the best thing is.
All right, Kaden, we thank you for taking the time to give us some insight today. Look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
That again was Kaden Sweeney of agmarket.net. Let's run down those closing numbers, courtesy of the folks at Bar Chart. December corn down 2.5 at 668.5. March down 2.5 at 673.25. November beans up 2.5 at 13.86 even. January beans up 2.5 at 13.91.25. Soy meal down $5.90 at 409.10. Soy oil up $1.36 at 65.04. Chicago wheat down 15.25 at 8.29 even. Minneapolis wheat down 1 3/4 at 8.98 1/4. Kansas wheat down 8.5 at 8.93 even. December oats down 1/4 at 3.76 1/4. December live cattle down 42 cents at 149.65. September feeders up 30 cents at 182.32. Lean hogs for October up $1.05 at 92.12. Pork cutouts up $1.20 at 102.95. Class 3 milk down 6 cents at 19.78. And that's been our Ag Market Recap. We're going to take a short break and hear from our sponsor, the Iowa Soybean Association and the Soy Checkoff. When we come back, I enter the Metaverse. This is Ag Matters PM.
Iowa Soybean Association is driven to deliver for Iowa's 40,000 soybean farmers. We're proud to provide objective agronomic research, a helping hand with soil and water stewardship, and timely industry news powered by the Soybean Checkoff. Learn more at iasoybeans.com.
Welcome back to AM/PM from the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network. I'm Dustin Huffman. Well, August was a busy month for us here at the network, including being there at the Iowa State Fair all 11 days. One of the chances I had to have was going into the Metaverse with the folks at Meta, the parent company of Facebook and Instagram and other sources as well. But we had a chance to be in their virtual reality world, learn how to interact with it, and also see how they're using it for lessons, including being on a dairy farm. We'll look at that right now. All right, we're here on the Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network, and we're visiting with the folks of Meta, and we've got Matt Sexton joining us right now. Matt, thanks for taking some time to visit with us.
Absolutely.
So Meta, obviously people hear Meta, they probably know about Facebook, Instagram, and that, but Meta is much more than just those two platforms, right?
Correct.
So tell us a little bit about what we're experiencing here today at the Iowa State Fair.
Sure. So you're right. Meta is is the umbrella company of all those things you said, Instagram, Facebook, our Meta Quest headset, which is what we're demoing here today. You know, collectively, all of our platforms, over 3 billion people use them every single month. And that's only made possible by our data centers that are the physical infrastructure that facilitates that connection. So Meta has its largest data center right here in Iowa, in Altoona, Iowa. So where better to demonstrate the technology that supports than here at the Iowa State Fair.
All right, so when people come in here, they get a chance to try out this virtual reality world. Tell us a little bit about it, and you'll get to see some action of me actually trying this out. It was pretty impressive.
Absolutely. So yes, it's an artificial 3-dimensional space. You can do anything in the way of entertainment or travel or education. So today here we have a couple demonstrations. One is to how to really interact with the physical objects in the metaverse. Hopefully you'll be able to see you can shoot rockets or play ping pong and do all types of things. We've also partnered with a local employer in Davenport, Victory XR, who gave us a virtual experience at a local dairy farm. You're standing in the middle. Making sure you look to the right. There's a very interested cow that I think really liked the camera. So yeah, the possibilities are endless, which is really what we're trying to demonstrate here. We're here every day for 11 hours and couldn't be happier.
So obviously, like I said, it was like, especially if you're someone who has never been to a dairy farm, then we don't have access because obviously we've got health restrictions and we've got to keep things biosecure. To be able to experience that and feel like you're standing right there and having that cow right in your face, I mean, you could do everything but smell it. I mean, that was pretty impressive, and it's a good experience for things like when you can't actually be there.
Yeah, and so it can be a real equity thing, the transportation and logistics and cost of transporting dozens of people to, we'll say, this particular dairy farm can be prohibitive from an educational standpoint. And with a rental unit or access to these headsets, you could not only go to the dairy farm, but then be transported to the moon and be courtside at the NBA Finals. So we really see this as the next iteration of way folks will educate and communicate. And again, we owe it to the physical infrastructure in our data centers and are elated to be here.
So obviously it can be used, obviously, like you said, for the educational platform. Obviously, I'm assuming for training too, as far as we see in your commercial for it, you see a surgeon working with it. You see kids in a classroom setting working with it. And getting to practice. Right now I'm watching virtual heart surgery on the screen.
Exactly.
I mean, so some really interesting capabilities this thing has.
Yeah, and I mean, learning styles and doing it, and you can read about it, but to do it virtually, to practice your first weld in a contained environment, to practice heart surgery, to understand and map, that specific patient and see trouble spots come up in a safe and secure environment before actually executing that function of your job. We see the possibilities as really being endless.
Oh, and what, when you think about for farms too, like with training or like you said with welding, input costs. I mean, you don't want to sit and just waste rods while a guy's sitting there welding.
Not with these prices.
Not with the prices. So I mean, obviously, and you may not have a heart to work on, and it would have every single aspect. So it definitely has that great purpose. So what does it take to put together one of these virtual lesson kind of things that people can be a part of?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways. Victory XRs, who we're working with based in Davenport, we're working with them and their team for instance, to map 10 universities across the country. We're calling them Metaversities. And so you can tour these. We talk about travel and things being cost prohibitive for prospective students. With the help of this Iowa-based company, folks are going to be able to go to a prospective college and work through that process. So yeah, I would certainly encourage you to check with Steve and get a little more.
All right, and obviously Iowans should be proud of all the work that's being done through people here in the state of Iowa to make this happen.
Absolutely. Our data center here in Iowa supports over 400 full-time jobs. It's been an active construction site since 2013, averaging over 1,300 trade workers on site. It's almost a $3 billion investment right here, so we can't imagine a better place to do and grow business.
So obviously it's in early stages when you think about, I shouldn't say early stages, but when you think about marketing to the masses, it's in maybe early stages. Where do you see this going in the next couple of years? How fast do you see this growing?
Well, I think what's helped, VR has existed for a long time, but it's been very expensive. It's been tangled to wires, connected to hard computers. Meta's actually bringing this consumer option. It's fairly inexpensive, it's mobile, you can charge it with your cell phone charger. You'll see soon Meta's will be coming out with kind of higher end headsets for those professionals or the way to really push the envelope on the tech. But we think that the access that make great birthday or Christmas gifts is really going to make this technology not only ubiquitous, but something that will really impact people's lives in the years to come.
All right, so if people want to find out more information about these headsets, this virtual reality setup, where do they find it?
Sure, it's Meta Oculus. Sorry, I should say that again.
No.
It's a Meta Quest 2. You can buy them at retailers. You can buy them online, and we have a whole catalog of different games and educational in our marketplace.
All right, well, Matt, thank you so much for taking the time to visit and giving me a chance to try that out today.
Thank you.
All right, you can find more information about the Meta virtual reality tools online. But right now, let's go ahead and take a look at that ag weather outlook. It's been pretty warm here. Now, Riley will disagree with me. He likes it a little bit to the hot side. I do not so much. But we're seeing temperatures today upwards of 90 degrees in parts of Iowa, but a cool down is on the way. How long is it going to take to get here? Well, let's see what the National Weather Service has for the next 24 hours. Well, as we said, it's certainly been warm here the last couple of days, and we're seeing highs that are going to be close to 90 again today. But we're going to see the clouds roll in. Not quite as cool, but still seeing some temperatures up in the upper 50s to the mid 60s. Now, tomorrow will be mostly sunny and continued warm across much of the state, but the cold front will start to move in from the northwest, where they may see a chance of some showers and storms, and we'll see temperatures only in the low 70s compared to the upper 80s across much of the state. Taking a look at the affiliate weather map, we can see Cherokee is going to see mostly cloudy skies, maybe some peaks of sun here and there. Chances of showers at a high of 71 degrees. Shenandoah, sunny and 86. Des Moines and Albia, both sunny skies and 89. Waterloo, clouds and sun and a high of 85 degrees. Clinton, sunny skies, maybe a few clouds here and there, but a high of 84 degrees. For more detailed forecasts in your area, tune to your local Iowa Agribusiness Radio Network affiliate. And that's been our Ag Weather Outlook. And like that, we are at the end of another episode of Ag Matters PM. Don't forget, all our content is online at iowaagnet.com. You can also follow us on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and on TikTok. And don't forget to check out our YouTube channel, where you can find past episodes of AM PM. Make sure you subscribe and click that bell icon so you can be notified whenever we post new video products. Also, don't forget about our free Twice Daily Market podcasts available on Google, Amazon, Apple, Spotify, and Podbean. From the IARN studios in Des Moines, I'm Dustin Huffman. For Mark Magnuson and Riley Smith, we thank you for watching. This has been Ag Matters PM.